14-year-old Evan Mercer had never liked being home alone at night, but tonight felt different from the moment his parents pulled out of the driveway. "Back by 10, his mom promised, smoothing his hair before closing the car door. "Pizza's in the fridge. Don't open the door for anyone," his dad added. "And keep the alarm on. No exceptions." Evan nodded, trying not to look nervous as the taillights disappeared down Elmbridge Road. Their quiet neighborhood usually felt safe, but lately, everyone was on edge. A woman, mid-30s, tall, long, dark hair, had been seen wandering late at night. Police said she was a serial killer, wanted for 3 attacks in the last week. All victims lived alone. All had signs of forced entry, and she was still out there. Evan tried to tell himself he'd be fine. He was inside, doors locked, alarm on. Parents just 15 minutes away at a restaurant. But by the time the house settled into its usual nighttime creaks, Evan's confidence faded. Around 8:15, the wind picked up, tapping tree branches against the siding. Evan heated leftover pizza and plopped onto the couch with his laptop. The glow from the screen flickered across the living room while the TV muttered a low hum behind him. He tried to distract himself with videos, but something kept pulling his attention to the windows, to the thin curtains shifting in the breeze from the vent, to the dark glass that reflected the room back at him. At one point, he swore he saw movement, just a shadow, outside in the backyard. But when he pulled back the curtain, nothing was there. Just the shed, the grass, the dark. He sighed, shaking his head. "Get a grip, Evan." He returned to the couch, forcing himself to scroll through his feed. But then, a soft knock came from the back door. Evan froze. Another knock, louder. He set the laptop aside and stood, his heartbeat climbing into his throat. "Knock, knock, knock," he tried to sound brave as he approached the kitchen. "Who is it?" Silence. He didn't move closer. He knew better. The back door had no peephole, no safe way to check. After 10 seconds of quiet stretching into an eternity, Evan managed to whisper, "Go away." He backed from the room, his eyes fixed on the door as if expecting it to burst inward. Just when he reached the hallway, knock, knock, knock. This time harder, much harder. Evan yelped and ran to the living room, grabbing his phone. He dialed his dad. Voicemail? He tried his mom. Straight to voicemail. Come on, he muttered, pacing. The restaurant had spotty reception. They warned him earlier. He typed a message instead. Someone's knocking at the back door. He hit send and waited. 3 dots appeared, then vanished. No reply. Evan swallowed, anxiety coiling tight inside him. Another knock echoed through the house. Then another, this time from the side door. His stomach dropped. Someone was moving around outside, trying different entry points. He checked the alarm panel. Still armed. Good. The doors would trigger it if opened. But the knocking continued. Slow, deliberate, patient. Evan stared at the window over the sink. The porch light flickered outside, casting shadows across the backyard. Then, he saw her. A woman standing still as a statue beneath the light. Tall, lean, long dark hair falling over her shoulders. Her head tilted slightly as she stared at the house. At him. Evan's breath locked. He dropped behind the counter so fast he hit his elbow. She didn't knock now. She didn't move. She just watched. Evan slid backward on his hands and feet, heart ricocheting in his chest. He reached for his phone again. 9-1-1. His fingers trembled so badly he hit 8 instead of 9. He corrected it and pressed call. After 2 rings, 911, what's your emergency? There's someone outside. This woman, she keeps knocking. She's trying to get in. Please. Okay, stay calm. Do you see any signs she's forcing her way inside? She's looking for a way. She went from the back door to the side. She's in the yard right now. Your address? He gave it, choking on the words. All right, the operator said. I have officers en route. Stay inside. Stay hidden. Do not approach her. Just stay somewhere safe. Please hurry, Evan whispered. We're coming. He hung up and crawled backward until he reached the hallway. He needed somewhere safe to hide. His room had a lock. So did the bathroom. But both were on the second floor, too exposed if she got inside. He ducked into the downstairs half-bath, flicked on the light, and locked the door. Then he listened. The house was quiet now. But quiet wasn't comforting. It meant she wasn't knocking anymore. It meant she had changed tactics. Trying a window, maybe. Or circling around. Or standing right outside. Listening. Minutes passed like hours. Evan sat with his knees drawn to his chest, hands clenching the phone as he checked it over and over for messages. Still no reply from his parents. The operator said police were coming, but he knew response times varied. It might take 10 minutes. It might take 20. He strained his ears. A sound drifted through the door. Crunch. Footsteps on gravel, not outside, inside, inside. Evan slapped a hand over his mouth to stifle a scream. The alarm hadn't gone off. So how? He slowly looked at his phone. A notification blinked. Alarm. Back door. Offline. Offline? That meant someone had tampered with the panel. There were ways to disable the sensor externally. He'd seen it in a video once, if someone really knew what they were doing. Footsteps moved down the hall, soft and slow, deliberate. She was inside. She had gotten inside. Evan's entire body trembled uncontrollably. The doorknob of the bathroom jiggled once. He stopped breathing. Then again. Slow rotation, testing the lock. She knew he was in there. Her fingernails scratched lightly along the wood. Then her voice floated through, soft, melodic, almost tender. Ivan, his stomach lurched. She knew his name. How? He whispered. Come out, she cooed. You don't have to hide. I only want to talk. Evan squeezed his eyes shut. Tears slipped down his cheeks. She tapped her finger along the door like she was playing a rhythm. You're making this harder than it needs to be. He looked wildly around the bathroom. There was no escape except the window. Small, high, but maybe big enough. He stood slowly, silently climbing onto the toilet. He unlatched the window and pushed it up. Cold air brushed his face. Behind him, the woman tapped the door again. Evan, you're smart. You know I can get through if I want to. He hoisted himself, halfway through the frame. Then, bang! She slammed her shoulder against the door. Evan scrambled, kicking his legs through the window. He fell onto the shrub below, crashing awkwardly, but sprinting to his feet. The neighbor's house was 50 yards away. If he made it there. Another bang rattled the bathroom door. Evan bolted across the yard, breath tearing out of him. He didn't look back, couldn't. He knew she'd be coming, fast. The porch light cast long shadows across the grass. His socks slipped in the dew, but he kept running until he reached the neighbor's driveway. He raced up the porch steps and hammered the doorbell repeatedly. "Please, please, open up!" Lights flicked on inside. A dog barked. He turned to look back. She stood halfway across his yard, not running, not chasing, just standing, watching. The neighbor's door opened a crack. "Evan, what's going on?" "There's someone. She's in my house. Before he could finish, faint sirens wailed far off. The neighbor's eyes widened. "Come inside." He pulled Evan in and locked the door. Within minutes, police cars sped onto the street. Officers searched Evan's home with flashlights, weapons drawn. They found the back door pried open. The alarm wires cut. Footprints in the kitchen. Long scratches along the bathroom door. But the woman was gone. No sign of her. No trace she'd ever been there. Evan's parents arrived frantic and shaking, hugging him so tight he could barely breathe. The police stayed for hours, combing the property and reviewing camera footage. But the backyard camera had been ripped down, the side camera cut. The porch camera pointed toward the sky. She had planned this, watched the house, prepared. Before leaving, an officer knelt beside Evan. "You did everything right," he said gently. "You called for help. You hid. You escaped. Whatever she wanted, she didn't get it." Evan nodded numbly. But later, around 2 a.m., when the police were gone and his parents sat with him on the couch, trying to calm him down, Evan checked his phone. There was a new text, unknown number. Sent 1 minute ago, one image, no message. The picture was grainy, taken at night. It showed Evan climbing out of the bathroom window from a few feet away. The caption appeared just below the photo, slow and deliberate, as if typed right then. "Next time, don't run." Evan's hand shook so hard he dropped the phone. His parents stared at the screen, horrified. Police were called again. More searches, more patrols, but the woman was never found. And every night after, Evan swore he could feel eyes watching the house, waiting, patient, silent. Because somewhere out there, the woman who knew his name, the woman who had stood in his yard, knocking softly,